are a few things you want to consider with your pellet stove installation. Here's a nice location for the pellet stove. 80 inches distance between these two windows. Centering between that is perfect for venting the exhaust straight through the wall in the back of the stove. This is very ideal, keeps the smoke away from your windows, you will never have a problem. The hearth board for your pellet stove is an important consideration. It should be large enough to protect your floor from any falling embers or anything like that during cleaning of your pellet stove. In this case, we have a very nice sized hearth board, 4 foot by 4 foot, to have this pellet stove centered on. And also, we will be able to slide this stove forward while keeping it on the hearth board for its yearly maintenance. Okay, here is the situation where we cut the hole through the wall. This is how we did that. Getting a measurement from the back of the pellet stove where the vent pipe is coming out of the stove, 16 inches on center. That measurement we then took in consideration to keep our pellet stove centered on the hearth board and found the center spot on the wall. All of this is taken in consideration with the fact that we have a wall thimble which has a large diameter cutout to allow for an insulating airflow to protect our wall from fire hazard. Here in our center, after we had found the center, we made sure there was no studs on either direction that were going to hinder us from cutting this hole. Also then, once we were certain everything was accurate and final, we drilled this hole all the way out to the outside using a long drill bit that reaches easily through the wall. After marking the hole, I used my jigsaw to be able to cut all the way around that circular hole.
And these are all the tools that you will need to install your stove.
Also, make sure you don't forget, safety glasses are an important consideration. I'm going to finish cutting out the insulation here in this hole where I've already cut the siding. I'm using a long Sawzall blade. A long bladed knife is actually better for cutting insulation.
You also need your pellet vent piping. So as you go to the store, be in mind that there's two qualities you can buy. There's a cheaper one and there's a more expensive one. They might even be made by the same brand. Doravent is a very common brand name, and they have two qualities. One that is really good quality and more expensive, and then a cheaper brand. I would not buy the cheaper brand, as it's more of a fire hazard and they don't last as long as the quality one.
There's no need for any silicone. They have a rubber seal. Aligning the grooves, slide them together and turn until it's tight. That makes a nice tight seal, no smoke, no fire hazard.
Now that we've got the stove here and we've got our pellet piping here, we're going to put it together. We have black for the inside because it matches the stove, and we've got the galvanized for the outside because it matches the color of the house. In your situation, you have to decide which color that you like best. So this pipe will go right in the middle, in between the thimble. The thimble has been cut out and is ready to fit in. That goes into the wall like this, and this one goes through the middle. And then that'll fasten to the stove as we slide it back, and now we're going to go on the outside and put the rest together on the outside. When you're considering where to place the stove, also think about the heat flow. For this situation, this stove is an ideal location because it'll blow the heat directly into the kitchen, into the dining room and the kitchen, And then on the other end, they've got the steps that go upstairs, and they have a set of steps here where the heat's going to rise and go into the second floor and actually circulate all the way and come right back down. So they'll be able to heat both the first floor and the second floor with the stove in this location. A great feature on the Ravelli stove is only about every 5 days you got to clean it. And it's simple to do. You take this little tool, you pull out the metal bar, that cleans the heat pipes, and you use the edge of this one and you go in where the clinkers are and you clean out where the pellets have clogged the burn pot, and there's a heat pipe on the top that you check and make sure there's no ash up on top. And of course you do it when the stove is off.
I'm very happy to have these stoves to service, since I've also serviced other brands, and these Ravellis are much cleaner, easier to service, there's not as much soot, etc. Also, they're very reliable, very high quality. The other reason it is great for you to buy a Ravelli stove is we're here to support you in any way. Should there any issues arise, we're always here with you.
For more information about our stoves, visit kingdombiofuel.com or call us at 717-344-5429.